Although it's smaller and less famous than its neighbor, the Casa Loma, the Spadina, it's apparently supposed to be pronounced Spadina, but I mean, not even the voice on the subway does that.
Arriving at Spadina Station.
Side note, on a side note, while I was editing this video, I actually did a bit more research into this, and it turns out that when you're talking about the museum, you're supposed to use Spadina. Spadina is like for the avenue. You know what? I'm not re-recording this whole thing, so whoops. Museum is still worth visiting for its striking late 19th, early 20th century architecture and fascinating story. Also, it's free. We've covered other Toronto history museums on this channel before, and I've gotta say, out of all of them, this might be my favorite. The interior is just lovely and full of personality, and there was so much care put into preserving it. Now, take this with a grain of salt, since I haven't read The Great Gatsby fully or watched the movie, but there's definitely a Gatsby feel to this place. Like, this would be in West Egg, right? There's flapper clothes, big parties were here, and this place is fashioned after the 20s and 30s. Someone tell me if I'm guessing right or not. In order to explore the inside of the premises, you need to book a guided tour, and our tour guide was great. She was really enthusiastic and knew her stuff. Most of the historic information is in the tour, and you can only really find scraps of it online, so I'll just be giving the highlights. Although there was originally a house on this property, constructed by William Baldwin, the story really starts in 1866 when the property was bought by James Austin, who founded the Dominion Bank and Consumers Gas. The Austin family would live here for 3 generations, until it was donated to the city in the early 1980s. In one of the sitting rooms, you can find various artworks showing Louisa Pipkin, a former slave from Baltimore, Maryland, who escaped slavery and worked as a servant at the Spadina House. There are 2 paintings, as well as a dress that she would have worn at the time. There's also a botany room, which Albert Austin was a fan of. I think the most interesting part of the museum was the room with the pool table in it, and on the ceiling there was a string with beads in it, which was used to keep score. Usually in the lobby they show you a video. Because I've never been to the Spadina House before this, I don't know what the video is about. However, when we visited, there was nothing shown. Sadly, the 3rd floor is pretty empty. This is because it was left unfinished. It was built to quarantine one of the sons who had tuberculosis. However, before it could finish being decorated, he would die. This ends the tour on kind of a downer note, but that doesn't mean that the Spadina House is any less worth visiting. The story of the Spadina House is also the story of Toronto, which is probably not something you got from this video. If you want that, you should go here and book a tour. Anyway, have a good day. See ya!